I attended Jacksonville State University where I pledged there in 2016. So I'm coming up on year 10 in April.
Good afternoon. I'm also a Ramsay alum. Yes, yes, yes. Class of '08. And I am Judge Shantae Brown. I'm currently the youngest elected judge in the entire state of Alabama. And I am a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And I think I see some Lambda Zeta over there. Yes. Where I initiated at the University of Alabama, the Lambda Zeta chapter, Spring 11. I am the 38th image of obsession.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Coach Demetrius Price, the founder of Price Elite Quarterback Academy. I played Spring 14 at the Bloody DT Delta Todd at Miles College University. So I'm just blessed and thankful to be here in front of you right now. And any question you want to ask, we're here for it. That's why we're here. Make sure you put God first before you ask any question. Ask Him before you ask any question. So I'm just thankful and blessed to be here.
Good afternoon, Ramsay. My name is Daryl Green. I am a proud member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, pledged fall 1992 at Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm currently the police chief at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. And if you work for the University of Alabama at Birmingham, you get a free education. So come work for the University of Alabama at Birmingham.
All right.
Good afternoon, Ramsay. My name is Kevon Chesson. I'm a proud member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. I was regularly initiated in the Gamma Beta chapter at the Alabama State University. I currently serve as the Alabama State Director over all of the Alabama Sigmas in Alabama. Glad to be here.
And certainly last but never least. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. You might hear my accent be a little bit different than everyone else on the panel because I'm originally from New Jersey. Moved out here back in a little while ago, 2024? Not that far. But anyway, I crossed Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated back in the spring of 2007 at the Untouchable Upsilon chapter. And yeah, I'm happy to be here and had to answer any questions.
Let's give our panelists a big round of applause. And so I want to make sure I acknowledge those amazing men of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. We did plan for Dr. Sullivan to attend. He does send his regards, and we are expecting someone to come in his place, Dr. Lamar. So if you see someone come in, just bring them on into the family, okay, and into our amazing panel, okay? All right, so now I'm going to turn it over to our SGA members who will serve as our moderators. Let's give them a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kyla Hatch, and I'm the SGA president of Ramsay, and I'll be asking you a few questions. Our first question is, what does the intake or membership process looks like for your organization from start to finish, and how long does it usually take? And we'll start right here.
So for Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and really across, it varies. The process is going to vary from organization and sometimes from campus to campus, okay? But for me and my experience in undergrad, we were required to attend a Greek convocation. That was a part of a requirement if you wanted to become Greek. And then from there, you'll do your interest meeting. And then from there, you just wait to get that call to start your process.
Yes, I will say Delta Sigma Theta pledging at the University of Alabama was the same. We did have to go to a convocation, an interest meeting, and then you wait to see if you get a call. But every organization is different, every campus is different, so every process is differently. But generally, you have to go to convocation and an interest meeting.
And I would agree. And by the way, sorry, I may have missed the introductions. Terry Lamar, Chief of Staff here in Birmingham City Schools. Sorry for my tardiness also, you all. But in terms of the process, it is, you got to go through a regionals and then a national process. And then after you look into that part, then you have like an intake process. So it could take all the way up to about 3 months from start to finish for Alpha Phi Alpha.
At the same for Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, you got to make sure you find your mentor that's in the fraternity. Make sure you understand the fraternity. Make sure you know a little bit about the history. Then you got intake classes. Basically about 3 months, and to the end you'll see what happened after that.
I'll kind of piggyback on what everyone has already said. There are different nuances to everyone's process. I would say all potential members should collect as much information as they can about the organization on an international and national level and also a local level. So your job is to collect that information, talk to all the people around you that are members of Omega Psi Phi or whatever fraternity or sorority you seek, and collect that information and make the right decision for yourself.
As previously stated, there's a general interest meeting and a Greek speak or a convocation. And then after that, once you have successfully attended the interest meeting, there is an interview process. So some of the same soft skills that you're learning inside of high school, you're going to have to apply those in the actual interview. And yes, your interview will be judged on several different merits. Professionalism, how early are you? Are you just on time? Because if you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're gone. So there are some different nuances, but as previously stated, there is an interest meeting followed by interview, and then after that, the process will continue.
Like, I don't have much to add because it's about the same as what everyone else said, but the general gist is this. The process is the process. There's a national process, there's local processes, there's interview processes, there's personal processes when you have your mentor. It's just a matter of connecting with someone as part of the organization and learn from them, and then, you know, make the decision that you want to make.
All right. Our next question, what GPA, community service, or campus involvement do you expect from someone who wants to join your organization in college?
So just be sure that you keep a great reputation, because you know in our profession nowadays with social media, everyone is watching. Especially when my friends are maybe an interest in one of our organizations. So of course we look for people with high standards, high excellence. So always try to be the best.
We're gonna switch it up and start with me then. Oh, oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. My bad. Camera request permission to speak. Hi, ma'am. So you probably noticing the theme is pretty much we're going to be saying the same thing. So I'm going to take a slightly different approach to this. How many of you out there are playing sports for the school? Raise your hand. Good, good, good. Hopefully you are listening to your coaches, not just for what to do on, your particular activities or your particular sport, but the things to help you develop beyond that. And school is the number one part of that, right? You can't play the sport without certain grades. We're going to be checking and so on and so forth. So yes, you want to make sure that your GPA is good, not just good, but more than good. As far as like service commitments and community involvement, you know your limits. Yes, we want you to be involved in other things. You should want to be involved in other things. I personally was involved in 2 other organizations that were on campus before I joined IOTA. So those things help, but again, also know your limits. So GPA first, make sure you're getting your degree. That's the most important part. And then yes, be around, be active, be in positions to help serve.
So as we've already stated, there's a minimum GPA. However, we want you to exceed that if you're coming into our organizations. I do want to speak on the community service and campus involvement. Don't just do the community service or the campus involvement to check off a box, because people are going to be watching and they're going to be noticing whether you just do stuff just because or if you actually are concerned about your respective university or your respective organization. All of these organizations up here are rooted in service. So if you're not about service, you may want to take a step back and reassess some things.
Definitely great points. I'll say this, for me personally, my GPA wasn't the highest. So the 3.8 the judge had, I'm not even gonna say what my GPA was at the time, but I can honestly say that coming to the fraternity that was what I needed to get my GPA up when I graduate. It was pretty high. But, being able to manage my time, being able to use my network around campus was imperative. And certainly, ideally, it was a thing I needed for my success. And so, where I didn't have the highest GPA coming in, I was devoted to service, giving back to the community, helping my brothers and sisters around the campus, and that was key to my success in becoming a member of Omega Psi Phi.
Yeah, it's about the same as everyone else say, great points. I want y'all to understand that the standard where you come from before you get them 3 letters on your chest. I know your mom, your dad, or whoever you look up to, they understand the standard when you go off to college. And also make sure you're involved into the community, make sure you're involved into the campus. As for me, I guess y'all could probably say it was hard or easy for me because I was a starting quarterback for both HBCUs, but that was the hardest part because I have to carry myself different each and every day. So you got to understand that when you put these 3 letters on your chest, it's more and more weight gonna hand off on you because most likely you are the face of the school because of the fact that you're doing community service, you're involved into the campus. So just making sure that your GPA is right at the right time and making sure your mind is ready to put on that task to making sure you're ready for that.
I would just say in terms of just a minimum GPA for Alpha Phi Alpha, it's a 2.5. And in that 2.5, you're looking at, you got to have a full semester at that institution as well. The other thing I would say, I would add everything that everyone has mentioned. I would just say one additional layer is your reputation on campus. That's huge. I've seen so many people who did not get in, regardless of what organization you were looking at, based off your reputation, what that looks like, how you've been perceived, who all you're hanging with, and who all you are involved with too. So I would just say be very careful on that part because that's probably outside of a GPA is the number one. At least I can speak for Alpha Phi Alpha. That's critically important.
Thank you all. I'm Jawan, the senior class vice president of Ramsay. And considering the fact that we are still high schoolers, I would like to ask you guys, looking back, what preparations did you take in high school that helped you become a strong candidate for your Divine Now organization in college?
If this one,
Do what you have to do now so you can do what you want to do later. All right?
As me looking back into my high school days, I went to A.H. Parker High School. Basically all my coaches was Kappas, Noops. So I really didn't have a choice to play as that. But had the opportunity to be around them and see what they does, see what they do around outside of just coaching me. And I just love the things that they was doing, just making sure kids is okay, making sure kids is in their right mind, making sure what can they bring to the table for Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. So before I got to Alabama State University, when I first started there, that was my main thing was what can I bring to the table? How can I help this fraternity be better than it's already better? How can I make it succeed to a whole nother level? So that was my main goal. That was when I looked back into high school. That's when I know what I wanted to do when I got to Alabama State. And I had to do it again when I got to Miles College because they dropped my line. So it was even harder because I had to know new people, let them understand me. I had to understand them. So basically, you got to make sure your mind ready.
And I would just say for me, of course, I come from this city down there in Mobile County called Pritchard. Graduated from Blunt High School, and at that time, no one was talking about. I wish we had opportunities like you all are having here. No one talked about it. So even all of my friends in my class, I don't think many of us knew anything about anything related to fraternities, D9, the whole shebang. So I can't sit up here on the stage and say that I did some things or even thinking back in high school, what I've done to get me ready. But what I will say is once I got to college, I started my first year at Alabama State, and I got a chance to watch the Alphas do just some amazing things on that campus. And then when I transferred to the University of Alabama, I watched the Alphas do some amazing things on campus. And so mine started once I went to college. not in high school. But I think being exposed to what you all are being exposed to today, I would say take advantage of it because I'm telling you, it's very powerful.
I think my experience is similar to everyone up here, but I'll say this for me. I didn't know that my track coach, I ran track and cross country throughout high school. I didn't know at the time he was a member of Omega Psi Phi until I came back after college and I was a member of Omega Psi. And so he was a critical person in my life in molding me, particularly when it comes to perseverance. I've tried a lot of things, but I've never given up. May have failed at a few things, never given up. He really gave me that perseverance, and I know now that he got that from Omega Psi Phi as well. And so you may not know that some of your teachers are members of different organizations, but at some point you will find out that you had a common bond with them for certain reasons that a higher power just instilled you to have that common bond with them. So for me, it was Omega Psi Phi. Thank you.
So I think looking back, as some of you all are doing, you all are a part of multiple organizations, multiple career tech student organizations. Those skills are building you to become a potentially strong candidate because they foster critical thinking, they foster public speaking, they foster team building, and they foster a culture of community. So some of the things that you all are doing now will help you become a strong candidate, and those are some of the things that I had done as well when I was in high school.
I'm going to take a different approach to this. I had plenty of time to think about it being last, It's a beautiful thing, beautiful thing. I didn't think about being part of a D9 organization when I was in high school. It was never on my radar. I'm the first Greek in my family. No one in my family, no one around me in the neighborhood was Greek. It didn't dawn on me that, oh, that was the thing that I can join. My focus was video games and playing the sports that I played. How many gamers out there? Right, okay. Anybody heard of God of War? Anybody play the first 3 games of God of War? The voice actor of Kratos is my frat brother, T.C. Carson. So, we do big things. But I just had to get that shameless plug real quick. But no, I couldn't say I did anything specific other than, fall in line, do some community things when I was in high school. But then after high school, I went to the military. And I credit my leadership ability, my willingness to serve by me joining the United States Air Force. And after that was when I went to college and IOTAs and got to learn about the organization, got to learn about the brothers that ultimately I joined with. And what I would say is, in retrospect of all of that, the things that you can do now is the things that you're doing right now. Maybe a little bit more. You want to get more involved in the community, please do so. You want to be mentored, find a mentor. That's a good idea. But it's okay if this information is not the most interesting to you, because I would have been in your seat the same way. Like, what are they talking about? Okay, D9, okay. And I still ended up becoming a member. You never know what your path is going to be. Just know that who you choose to be, hopefully, is a positive and productive person. So that way, if you do decide later that you want to join an organization like one of ours, yeah, you could put yourself in prime candidacy territory.
I guess I'll start since I got the mic. Kind of like I said before, I grew up a legacy. So legacy meaning that traditional legacy, if you have a mother or a sister or a brother or a father that is a member of the organization. However, I'm a non-traditional legacy, meaning that I had a first cousin that was a member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. What I recommend your research is to go on our national websites. We all have national websites. that tell you the in and outs of our community service endeavors, as well as the local chapters here in the area. You can see what they have going on locally in the community, and just do your research. I don't want you all to go use TikTok as a reference. Kind of like we were saying earlier, he's saying your track coach was a member of Omega. There's so many community leaders here in Birmingham, really here at your school, that are members of the Divine Nine. So I really recommend you all honing on into them and being your mentor if you are serious about being a member of the Divine Nine, not just whatever organization that they are a part of, but just to get more knowledge and be more intentional of getting more information about the Divine Nine from them.
I'm a world traveler. I'm working through my fourth passport. So I like to go out the country. I'm not staying on this little rock. Okay? And so while in my travels, I always see a sea of blue and white, and they have always been great to me. So when I tell you that that was an easy choice for me, and my mom, who was also an educator, was vehemently against D9. Vehemently. She was like, no, don't you ever, right? So that's why I waited till I was an adult, so I didn't have to get no money from her. But when you are around people, you will see the reflection of who you want to be. You'll see that. And that should be your deciding factor.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a high school student, I really didn't do much research into organizations. You really won't know unless you are a legacy, unless you have someone in your family. For me, I was the first one to attend college, so I didn't have anyone, I didn't know a member of Delta Sigma Theta or any other sororities. But once I got to the campus of the University of Alabama and I was able to personally observe the members of Lambda Zeta, I just fell in love with them. I love the sisterhood. I love the service. I love the swag. They were running the campus at the time and still are. All right, all right. But and I had classes with some of them. I was a criminal justice major, and it was one member of Delta Sigma Theta that I was able to gain a friendship with, and she became kind of a mentor to me. So you really won't know unless you had coaches or things of that nature where you already have that influence. If you have no influence, I wouldn't do outside research. Just wait till you get to campus and see which sorority or fraternity really speaks to you.
They pretty much said everything. I will say that I was admired by a lot of my teachers, being that I didn't have any Greek members in my family. So it was amazing just watching them, and they were mentors for me and also led me to the track of being an educator as well. But again, you just have to observe. Don't sleep on Greek convocation. Learn from everyone. You might have your mind made up about something going in, but it might change once you get there, okay? So be open-minded, and you'll have a certain conviction on which organization that you want to join.
So looking back on my journey into Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, I did do research. One of my English instructors was a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and the greatest thing she could tell me is do your research, because once you're in it for a lifetime, and you should love every minute of it. I did have coaches who were members of other organizations. I did have relatives who were members of other organizations, but I wanted to forge my own path. I didn't want to rely on old traditions that my family had created or that my coaches had instilled in me. I wanted to be a part of a legacy that would be able to live on forever. And so when I got to the campus of Alabama State University, I was met with one thing: the Sigmas weren't there. Now, in some cases, people will say, oh, my organization's not there, let me go find another organization. But it wasn't until the semester before I was getting ready to graduate that the Sigmas came back, and I knew then that was my opportunity to become a Sigma man. And I say all that to say this: as you do your research, immerse yourself in the organization's motto. Know the colors. Know some brief history about the organization that you decide. And I will also say this: please don't let the high school mentored organizations, I know some of y'all like to call them high school frat and sorors, but please do not let the high school mentoring organizations predicate what you want to become. Because you can become anything that you want to be.
So for me, my roommate was he was online to be a Sigma. And so all of his guys that were online, they huddle in my room and they invited me to an interest meeting, Phi Beta Sigma. However, all are great organizations. Everyone up here has a great organization. However, I had already established connections with the Qs on campus. And so when it came time for, my involvement in any particular process, it was going to be Omega Psi Phi. And so you have to have that connection and bond with the organization and the people that you're interested in joining. They become your brothers and sisters. And so for me, it was Omega Psi Phi.
As everyone said up here, do your research. Make sure the best thing that you choose is fit for you. Had an opportunity to have coaches as members of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated and Omega Psi Phi, but I did my research and made sure whatever fit for me, it was fit for me. I had an opportunity to be around Coach Ruben Nelson, as he is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and the way he carried himself as a man, the way he carried himself as a coach, made me more and more involved in what I wanted to do. Just make sure you got the right circle around you, making sure you can make your own decision that's best fit for you. Once you make that decision, I promise you it'll change your life. It'll make your life a whole lot better, make you move a little different once you put these 3 letters in front of you.
And I would say, like everyone else has said here too, because me being from Mobile, everyone assumed I'll pledge Kappa because it's considered Kappa Town is what they call it down in Mobile. But coming up here, I was able to figure out who really fit within my personality, my style. And it's kind of like you selecting your friends sometimes. You know the style in which you like, you know the folks that's going to uplift you, you can grow from. And for me, when I got on the University of Alabama campus, I realized, okay, the alphas align with the values and the standards in which I align myself with. And that's how I selected, because I didn't have the legacy. It was pretty much me looking at it to determine what fit best for me. And for me, it was that. My son just pledged Alpha, thankfully, last semester, because I was hoping he would maintain that. And I would just say this to all the ones that did not raise their hand, even though I pledged, his comments to me before last semester, or last year, I should say, was he's not going to pledge. He saw it as buying friends. And so I was joke with him now and said, how many friends did you buy since you're now a part of the, Alpha Phi Alpha? So now, but he said it was the best decision he's made because he got like-minded folks around him. So just make sure that's what you're looking for.
Make it super quick. My organization and the 12 founders that we have was about, during a pivotal time in the 1960s, I'm sure you read in history books all the different things that have happened to African-American individuals. And they wanted to start an organization to do something about what was going on back then. And me learning about the history of my organization, that appealed to me. Not only that, a lot of the founders of my organization were non-traditional students, meaning that they didn't go to college right away. Some of them were family men first and then came on, or they went to the military or did other ventures before they went to college. That was me. I went to the Air Force first, served for 6 years, and then went to college. So all of that lined up together. And then what really sold it was the gentlemen that I can call my brothers that were at Southern Illinois with me. Those individuals mean a lot to me. They took me under their wing. They taught me about Greek life because, again, I didn't know anything about Greek life. I knew nothing. And they really were impactful in who I am, which then led me to want to join the organization.
All right, Ramsay scholars, you all have asked, so I'm going to answer. So I need everyone to sit up nice and tall. And let me give you all this little caveat, if you will. Thank you so much for readjusting yourselves. Let's practice the Ramsay way, scholars. Now, with that being said, I know a large number of you all are involved in high school fraternity and sororities, or you all have maybe thought about it, which is why Dr. Walker has introduced the initiative of the Organization Wednesdays. So a lot of the things that our panelists have shared with you, it applies to you. And like someone stated, you may not be thinking about joining an organization now, and you all will be able to speak to this and momentarily, you're going to get on that campus and one of these organizations are going to inspire you. You're going to be like, ooh, I want to be a lady of crimson and cream, or ooh, I think I might want to wear pink and green, or ooh, I might want to be one of the smooth brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi, so on and so forth. And you're going to have your respective reasons, but I don't want you all to miss this knowledge, this wealth of knowledge, because this is going to address a lot of questions that you're going to have when you start that process. And let me say this, when you start that process, you're going to have questions, and the questions are being answered right now. So you all are fortunate enough to go ahead and get a jump start in regards to what you want to do. So I need for you all to sit up, lock in, and pay attention, because the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Raise your hand if you all sat through this very same panel when you all were here at Ramsay, please. Raise your hand high for me. You do the math, and the math is mathing. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to our amazing Ramsay scholars. When you come up, please introduce yourselves. Again, we are practicing. Panelists, if you could raise your hand if you went to one of those forums where you had to stand up and introduce yourself before you ask your question. And you have to, Dr. Walker, did you have to go to a forum and stand up and say, I am Alexis Lilly, classification as a sophomore, and my question is, and guess what? That's an expectation. I just gave you all a nugget that a number of those people who will sit in that auditorium with you won't have. They're going to get up there, and y'all know it. Hey, y'all, my name is Keisha, and everybody looking at you. But you all are fortunate enough, Rams, to sit in a setting where you're able to sit and get the knowledge so you can stand at that mic with confidence and know what to say. So with that being said, come on, sweetheart, get your practice out. Let's clap it up for our Rams as they come. All right, go ahead, Pooh.
Good afternoon. My name is Jordan Robinson. I'm an 11th grader here at Ramsay. My question to you all is, how do you move with discretion when showing interest in the organization?
Panelists, if you don't mind, we're going to tag team it if that's okay, where I allow some of our undergrad to answer, and then I'll allow you all to answer if you want to jump in, okay? All right. Who want to take it? Come on, JC.
Hi, good afternoon. How are y'all doing? My name is Jordan Collins. I'm a Fall 25 initiate of the Lambda Zeta chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So I would say when moving with discretion on campus, I would say it is extremely hard. Myself speaking, I am a first generation college student, so I was the first in my family to go to college and pledge and do everything. So I would say it could be hard, like trying to navigate those spaces, especially with having so many questions as an interest and wanting to know more about the organization without just blatantly going up and saying, "Hey, so what's this and this and that?" So I would say the best thing to do when practicing discretion, first things first, when you're doing your research and when you're finding whatever organization you want to join, I think it's best to keep that to yourself. No one should know what you plan on joining, when you plan on joining, because it's your decision and it's your choice. And also, when people know what you're trying to do, like some people will try to sabotage it, or like some people just don't have your best interest in mind. So I would say when navigating joining an organization as an interest, I would definitely say keep that to yourself. Express concern to like a close mentor that you made on campus, or someone in your family that may be Greek, a family friend that may be Greek, that's in that prospective organization that you plan on joining, or even if they're not in that organization, just asking them for help and advice on how to navigate those spaces. But I would say first things first for discretion is keeping it to yourself. No one should know what you want to pledge when you plan to pledge. And also, another big thing is going to events and like making sure that your face is seen, but you're not heard. So I would say like your image on campus is very important. When you go to campus, you should want to start off strong with a high GPA. You should want to do service. You should want to join organizations. You should want these people, if you want to join these organizations, you want to be seen in a great light. So I would say just navigating those spaces and making your face be seen, always speak at events. But just knowing where that line is, I would say it wouldn't be the best to go and ask like a surface level question. Well, it would be. I'm gonna take that back. But I would say for like questions that you have, if you feel nervous on asking them to a member of the organization, I would say first just do your research. So look on the national website and go from there. And yeah.
Thank you, JC. Did anybody else want to add on, or she hit it? Perfect, perfect, perfect. We have some more questions. Oh, in the back. Oh, you were saying in the back. I'm sorry, I was looking at Dr. Watt. Come on up. So let's do this. Scholars, if you have a question, go ahead and make a line right here if you don't mind. Come on, Jessica, since you're right here already. Come on, Jessica. You good? No, you're fine. Come on, Jessica.
Okay, my name is Jessica Mitchell. I'm a senior here at Ramsay High School. My question is, in what way did your sorority slash fraternity build your confidence, like coming out of high school, I guess, and just like, I don't know, getting involved? Like, what made you feel like this was your family?
So essentially, how did joining the organization transform you for the better? Okay. Did you all want to answer that, or not? Are you all still transform? Come on, Jalen. And this is Skylar Ware's big sister, y'all.
Hey everyone. I'm so weak. I'm Jalen Wilson. I'm a Fall 25 initiate into the Kappa Chi chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I would say that started for me before I joined my organization. I'm majoring in civil engineering, which is a male-dominated field, and I saw a lot of the older girls that were already a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated in our like study room areas, and they reached out to me to help me without me being a member. Um, and kind of just seeing like them striving towards being better and still making sure that they dominated that field without seeing people around them that looked like them, and making sure that somebody coming in who wasn't seeing people that looked like them had a face or knew someone who went through it. So I think that was like the biggest thing for me, was them looking out for me before I was a member. And then after joining, well, even like during my process of joining, my line sisters, without even knowing me, were there for me. So it's kind of like whenever I need anything, if you were sick, if you were feeling tired that day, they went out of their way without even knowing me to make sure I had medicine, to make sure, and knowing that I had a harder major, that I might need food, I might need whatever, and that still is the same thing to today. Like, we make sure that each and every person feels special. If you don't have like people to celebrate you, they go out of their way to make sure that you have someone and that you feel celebrated. And that started before I started my process. So that's my answer.
Thank you so much, Jalen. Next up.
Hi, my name is Cameron Smith. I'm an 11th grader. My question is, how do you know when to join? Like, if you go into college already knowing what do you join? Do you join your freshman year, or after you get a feeling of which organization you join, do you join the next time they have an interest meet coming up? Like, what point of college do you recommend joining?
So I'll say this, for the Lambda Zeta chapter, you have to have a certain number of credits, so on and so forth. So typically you cannot join when you're a freshman because you just don't have the required number of credits. Your GPA is not there yet. So it really just depends on each organization's requirements, and if you meet those requirements once they are having a line. That's what I would say.
Anyone else would like to add on?
I'll add one more thing, something kind of interesting for us. Sometimes they will post a flyer about an interest meeting, but it's still done in a very discreet way. So I did not find out by the flyer. You know, you just have to keep your, what they say, ear in the streets. But after I crossed at this point, I found the interest flyer in my building. I was an education major, so they actually had one on the bulletin board, and we missed it, and I went to the building every day, basically. So that.
Miss Ford, I just had a flashback. Go ahead. I had to find my flight.
Also, just to add too, is you want to join when you're ready. So not just because you see the interest flyer, but making sure that you have the GPA, making sure you actually have the community service hours, not just that certain number that that organization that you're interested in joining is telling you you're required to have. You need to exceed those standards. That gives you the better outcome of you being chosen to proceed into membership. So never just look at the standards, so what you have to have that's given at the informational, exceed that.
Thank you so much. That's perfect. And let me give you all just a little, I guess, advice. So you see how many students are in this auditorium. When you all go to your interest meeting, if that's the path you choose to take, the auditorium will be filled with a couple hundred people, believe it or not, depending on what university you go to. So to their point, scholars, when you go to these college campuses, you can't do what's ordinary or what's normal. You have to be extraordinary. Does that make sense? They're looking for the cream of the crop. Does that make sense, you all? So understand that everybody who's standing in that line waiting for that application packet, they all have a 2.5 or 2.75 or XYZ. But if you're standing in that line, you should be confident and say, I have a 4.0. And be ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. All right, next up. Come on. I'm sorry. Y'all know Miss Lily. Come on, anybody else? Come on, Ram.
Okay. Oh, hello. Hi. My name is Carrington Fowler. I am a junior here at Ramsay IB High School, and I'm also a part of a high school sorority. But my question is, like, how do you go outside your legacy? Because I personally am a legacy, but I don't really, you know.
I can answer that. I'm a traditional, yeah. So my mother is actually a Zeta. She she crossed Zeta before I crossed Sigma Gamma Rho. Um, and her biggest thing is she knew through and through I wanted to be a Sigma Gamma Rho. I was a part of the youth affiliate group, our Roar Club. So my thing is, do what you want to do. That's all I want to say. Do what you want to do your research. You never just want to go off of what your mother is doing, your aunt is doing. I have plenty of sorors that have came through, and they are in a family of AKAs and Deltas. And, but at the end of the day, you have to go where your heart wants you to go, because then in the long run, you're not doing it for you. You're doing it just for clout, and that's what's not. This is not what it's about.
Thank you. Okay.
Just to add to that, if we can, if you want to break away from your legacy, start building your own funds, because your parents are not going to pay for anything but their respective organizations. So start early, start planning, and you'll make it happen.
Yes, yes. One of our undergraduate scholars would like to speak on that. Miss Maya.
Hey y'all, my name is Demaya Jones. I am alumni of Ramsay High School, class of 23, currently a senior at Jacksonville State University. I am a come here. This is my twin sister, and so my mom is a Alpha Kappa Alpha. She's an AKA, and she always be in my head like, "Girl, you're gonna be an AKA." No, ma'am. Okay, no, ma'am. It was plenty of times she was like, "Well, you choose anything else, you on your own." But that was a lie, because she ended up paying for it in the end anyways. But yeah, y'all, please, if you feel like if your friend wanna be a AKA and you wanna be a Delta, don't go with your friend. Go with your heart. Go with your mind. Go what you think that's gonna benefit you in the end.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Marshall. I'm a Spring 24 initiative Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the Kappa Alpha chapter, seated at the University of Alabama. Hey, Dr. Walker. I can answer that question. My dad is actually a Sigma. I'm gonna just give y'all the rundown. I'm a junior. I got the same first and last name. He's a Sigma, and I chose my frat because I wanted a sense of self identity. Like when I already got this man first and last name. Let me make a name for myself. So going to university, I'm not gonna say that I just didn't look the Sigma's way. I actually did realize it wasn't my cup of tea. Um, at the University of Alabama, the Alphas was just in leadership positions, and I was always raised to be a part of people like-minded individuals. So people who's president of this and this club, vice president of this club, grades on top of that, like having the high GPA as well as being involved on campus is very important to me. That's just something I want to be a part of. Um, and yeah, also with the payment thing, my dad actually did say he wasn't gonna pay for it, but he gave me halves. But I did have to pay the other half myself. So I would say that. But yeah, that's just my take on it.
All right, all right. Do we have any more questions? Okay, we got one more question, and we have a special treat for you all. So our undergrad, you all can make your way onto the stage. We have your music ready. Come on, Taj, close us out, okay? All right, scholars. Not too much. One last question.
Good afternoon. How are you all today? That's good. So I have two questions. First, how did you kind of maneuver being online? Because I know the line process is very lengthy and it can be challenging. How did you maneuver that while continuing like your coursework and things of that nature? And then my second question is, I know you said you were part of a youth affiliate group. I'm also a part of a high school fraternity, this mentor by Alpha Man. How does that affect your line process? Do you think it benefits you more than negatively?
Good question. The lady said we're going to yield to the men.
Y'all lost me. Give me the first part of that question real quick.
First part of your question, Taj.
The first part of my
About
question
the process, right? Like how did I maneuver during the process?
Right.
Time management. You have to be able to schedule everything. I believe it or not, I worked 2 full-time jobs, went to school full-time, and was going through my process at the exact same time. That's a sacrifice I don't wish on anyone because I lost a lot of sleep, but that was my choice, and I knew I can handle it. Time management is key. You know what your college schedule is going to be. If you're working, you got to know what that is. You got to have time for yourself. You got to have time for sleep, and make sure everything goes in alignment with that. So time management is key.
On that first question, making sure you got everything in place. What's important, what's important. So I did spring 14. So I was in spring football as the starting quarterback. So I had class, I had team meetings, I had position meetings, and I also had meeting with my line as well. So I'm just making things so important to me. Like some friends that I was want to go out with, I had to put them aside. Some things that I wanted to do that was fun to me, I had to put that down. And that's what molded me today as well. When I have to do things that's more important in life, I have to put some things down and make sure they go away. I detach myself from that. So you got to understand that you got to detach yourself what make you happy that really doesn't make you happy. So that's the things you have to do.
To answer the second part of your question, if that's the only organization that you're a part of, you can list it on your resume, but do not wear that jacket on campus. That is a high school organization, and it was high school for a reason. Do not wear that jacket on campus because a fraternity may think you already have a preconceived notion on how to get into that respective fraternity or what you think the process will entail. And I want to just real quick, as you are getting ready to assimilate into a potential organization, stay off TikTok. Don't vlog your process on TikTok. Don't talk about your journey through the fraternity or respective organization through TikTok because members do see that TikTok.
All right. Let's give our amazing panelists a big round of applause for taking the time out. And so, as promised, Mr. Haddon, you can go ahead and hit play. I have a special treat for y'all. So, look. Oh, you all didn't have to move, but you can. That is fine. Panelists, you all can feel free to make your way down here in our reserved seating. Or you can stay up there and record. No, no, no.
Okay, wait. Ooh. No, I'm not giving them. My strong wrong. That brown strong. That's too much strong.
All right, Rams. I'm sorry. Y'all know I don't really need a mic, but you know. All right, so let's give our panelists, let's give our alumni a big round of applause. Y'all, I cannot express to you how special this event is to me. The goal is to do this every year, and the purpose of it is I want you all to know the opportunities that you have for, coming, okay? And I want you all to be prepared. But I'm going to yield to Dr. Walker to do our closing remarks, and then our panelists, if you would, just stay for one quick second so we can get one big picture, including our undergraduate as well. Dr. Walker, the floor is yours.
Let's give Miss Lily a round of applause for putting all of this together. Thank you so much. And while I have the microphone, today was a special day. The D9 of Ramsay High School celebrated unity. And if Dr. Seelman is in the building, Dr. Seelman, will you please stand? Give her a round of applause. And that is, she created a forum of unity for all of the D9 members today. And so with that, I want to ask all of Ramsay's D9 to come down front so you can know who you have in the building. Come on down front, D9. Exactly. I can't say enough how proud I am of many of the alumni from Ramsay High School. As a leader of the school, you want to feel like you got some influence. So everybody that had on the red and white, thank you for representing quite well from the Hill. I really appreciate it. And many of you, and several of you had asked, what made you be a Delta? That's a long story, but I will tell you, I was an office aide in high school in the counselor's office. My counselor was a Delta. I was quiet. I just watched her work. And it was from that point on, I knew I wanted to wear red and white. And it was from a counselor in my high school. And what I loved most about her, she was real. It wasn't anything fake about her. She didn't sell you a boatload of dreams. She made you work for what you want. And it's been from that day on, I've realized that I didn't have a silver spoon in my mouth. My mom and daddy didn't have one to give me. I had to work for everything that I have and everything that I wanted. And so, scholars, I hope today we are dealing with a lot of stuff where people are talking about denouncing. But I'm going to tell you, not one person that's denouncing has paid their dues. Nobody that's denouncing paid their dues. So I'm of the opinion they denounced because A, they couldn't afford it, they couldn't keep up, they was lost in life, because it had nothing to do with the letters that they wear. So all of you heard today, listen, do your research, be who you want to be. Don't just get in it because of how you saw them stroll on the stage. And don't just get in it because you love the way these colors look on us. Get in it because you want to be a part of an organization where you can add to. Delta Sigma Theta didn't make Dr. Walker who she is. And so make sure when you get in it, you are already who you're supposed to be. Make sure you are who you're supposed to be. People don't call me Delta Carolyn. They say, Carolyn, are you a Delta? And so understand that. But to our panelists today, thank you so much for coming to join us today. Our students learned so much. Dr. Lamar, I know you are super busy, and I know the rest of you are, so thank you for coming on behalf of Dr. Sullivan. And to all of our Ramsay alumni, give them another round of applause. And I will add, because many of you all knew Mr. Kemp when he was here. Mr. Kemp was a member of, Omega Psi Phi fraternity. Miss Sharp, when she was here, she was a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And so every administrator that you've had has been connected to the great divine. And we are not just t-shirt wearing members. We give the sorority and the fraternity just as much as we give you. So give everybody, including yourselves, another round of applause. We are going to dismiss in a few minutes. I'm going to give the microphone to Mr. Nelson, who will take charge on that area.
Hey, y'all. I hope y'all had a good time. Y'all give them another round of applause. I don't know if they said one thing, and they may have mentioned it before, but they kept talking about having your grades in order. And I think the number one thing about having your grades in order is because where you go to school at, the organization may not be pledging when you think they're going to pledge.